Hello Internet and welcome back to our Let's Play of Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Oh boy, what's going on? We're gonna go explore the diner. Okay. I have some thoughts and some feelings that have come up in the last few days about this game that we'll explore throughout this episode and how it ties into other fiction.
Are you okay?
I guess. Thanks for the help. Were those what'd you call them? The Taken? What are they?
It's complicated. Short version, the darkness can take people over. That's why I had to destroy the oil derrick. Otherwise, they would have overrun the place.
Wow, I didn't think you'd actually do it. I mean, I didn't think it'd work. That's crazy.
Enjoying a little coffee. As Agent Dale Cooper would say, damn fine cup of coffee. So, one of the things I thought was interesting is this game essentially seems to be in a desert, right? Like, that's all we've seen so far. And I know that this is not actually on Earth, like Alan hasn't escaped back to the world of the living yet. But it's this seemingly endless desert trapped in a nightmare, right? Isn't that just Welcome to Nightvale? I mean, obviously this is less, what's the word I'm looking for? I can never remember that. Less Lovecraft. This is obviously less Lovecraft than, Welcome to Nightvale, but, boy, it has a lot in common just conceptually of, like, a desert unglued from reality, right? Like an endless desert you can't leave. Thought that was interesting. Also, here's something right here. Now I guess that's the sound of like a bug, right? That's probably a bug. Anyway, this also has a whole lot to do with Twin Peaks too. So the original Alan Wake, as we've discussed in previous episodes, was very much inspired by Twin Peaks. But what's interesting is there's similarities between this Alan Wake and the current Twin Peaks The Return, which this Alan Wake predates that Twin Peaks by several years. So is it possible that Twin Peaks The Return was influenced by Alan Wake, which was drawing its inspiration from the original Twin Peaks? What? Famous pancakes.
A poltergeist. Its existence is one of rage and hostility, and its very presence turns ordinary objects into deadly projectiles.
Shit!
Language, Alan. Hey, there's a page. We'll get the page and we'll continue our thoughts on the Twin Peaks Alan Wake's cross-reference.
The strands of webbing glistened in the beam of my flashlight, fine, almost ethereal. They were fresh and right in my path. I held my breath and waited, ears straining. Nothing. I moved on, concentrating on the task at hand. Just get what I was looking for, then leave. That's all I keep telling myself. For a moment, I actually thought it might be as simple as that. Then, I heard too many legs skittering across the ground.
Well, shoot, we're about to encounter a spider enemy. So, Mr. Scratch, the villain of this game, is a doppelganger of Alan Wake called Mr. Scratch. But in Twin Peaks The Return, the seemingly villain of the series is a doppelganger of Dale called Mr. C. Another interesting reference is Mr. Scratch escaped the dark place at the end of the first Alan Wake while Alan took his spot. But Mr. C escaped through the Black Lodge at the end of Twin Peaks, while Cooper took his spot. But those are some of those are things that the makers of Alan Wake could possibly have known at the time. It's just a interesting coincidence, perhaps. I don't even know if there's anything in particular in here I'm looking for specifically. Okay. Oh, shoot. Did not mean to do that. That was a waste. Trying to switch guns. Okay, there we go. I have recently also been playing Red Dead Redemption on the 360, so little changes to how to use the controller.
Traces of violence, a callous midnight snack, a room key left carelessly behind. The man recognizes the enemy's handiwork.
I think these are keys for the motel rooms. Satellite and now this? That place might be involved.
So that's what's up on the hill is the observatory. Well, I don't see anything else to do other than pick up those keys and wait to get attacked by spiders, I guess. So we're going to explore a little here. No prompt to get in the car. The last game you could drive cars, but I guess that's not the case. So what happens if I just run out here? Ah, classic. Something prevents me from going any further. So, the game world is pretty small. I would like to find the rest of those pages, though. Gotta keep an eye on that mini-map. Oh, jeez! Oh, God. Oh, now I'm cornered. This is no good. Another similarity worth pointing out is the Taken seem an awful lot like the Woodsmen from Twin Peaks, which again is strange because the Woodsmen weren't a part of the original series of Twin Peaks, only the newer Twin Peaks The Return, which this game could not have possibly have known about, and yet the similarities are shocking. Again, just kind of fascinating to think, is it possible? Is it at all conceivable that the new Twin Peaks was somehow inspired by the game that was inspired by that show? Interesting concept. Oh, jump. Let's,
Emma Sloan was a believer in a great many things, most of which were entirely fallacious. Emma Sloan, an innocent victim of his dark half. More collateral damage in the ongoing war. Damned by forces beyond her control, as much as by her own actions.
Well, I don't hold out much hope for Emma here. I think she's probably toast.
Damn it! Why didn't you listen?
Well, I guess the first thing is let's get the manuscript page that we know where it's located. Okay, get up there. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12 more. Okay. Oh shoot! I didn't.
My own face peered back at me from the TV screen. For a moment, I struggled with the sensation of déjà vu. How many times have I seen myself like this now? And then there was that easy grin that never seemed quite as quick or natural on my own lips. The dark, malicious twinkle in the eyes. And I knew who I was looking at. As he pulled back and revealed the room behind him, my throat went dry. There was nothing I could do but watch.
Okay, so we already saw that. I feel like there's a good chance the game is going to lead me to every manuscript page regardless. It may be inaccurate, but... I mean, the game just seems pretty linear.
Michael Farabee, dead, tortured, dressed in clothes that bore the name of a local observatory. A slim lead, but solid enough. It stirs something deep in his mind. He knows where to go now. The observatory. Hot on the heels of the Herald of Darkness, the Champion of Light forges on to see the stars.
Is that it for that area? Oh wow, I didn't even get to finish the space.
A place for a man to witness the magnificence of the universe. But such insights are not what the Champion of Light is looking for. He has come to find a weapon.
Okay. Good to know. There's no going back, is there? Dang. Well, we just missed a bunch of stuff. That is super sad. Well, that's what happens when you're doing your first playthrough, right? Okay, nothing coming at me directly at the moment.
As a storyteller, my first real love was crime. And it was in that genre that I finished my first novel, starring the perpetually miserable Alex Casey, whose entire life was a wound that never healed. The books sold as fast as they hit the shelves. I wrote 5 more Alex Casey books, and they all were bestsellers. I became rich. I became famous. Success brought pressure, and I didn't handle it very well.
Interesting music here. Alright, higher up on this... Oh, jeez. Really wish I could change what's run, what's jump. Higher up on this cliff face is another manuscript page. The Uzi rifle combo is a pretty good combo. Close range and distance. Speed and accuracy. This works real
I've
good.
seen the enemy, and it's me. I've faced dark horrors before, things that live in the unimaginable pressures of the world beyond our own. Sometimes they masquerade as humans. That's what ultimately lurks inside Mr. Scrooge. He's every mean-spirited tabloid story about me, an evil caricature, a creature formed in that vague territory of misconceptions, half-truths, and the dark imagination of people who heard a story about me. An urban legend made flesh, a serial killer, my dark half, brought to life by the power of Cauldron Lake.
Wonder if that means 15 in this area, or what do I have now? I really need to list the guns. I don't really know which one I have just by looking at it. Let's look at something else here. So based on this, there's only 3 areas, so this is a pretty short game unless you're trying to be completionist, which may be something to be said for.
The pressure of success got to me. My wife Alice was the sole thing in my life that anchored me. Suddenly it wasn't enough. I couldn't write anymore. I distracted myself with wild parties and whatever trouble I could scare up. I wallowed in the drama of my life, sure that Alice would stick with me even though she didn't sign up to be the lifeline of a tortured artist. It was my dumb luck she's not the type to give up.
Hard to know for certain how much of this they're gonna let me explore later. Based on what just happened in the last area, who knows? Dang it. Now that's a gun we want. Okay, so that's what we have, a carbine rifle. Not entirely sure what would make a hunting rifle better than a carbine rifle. Range, I guess.
The spiders aren't really the work of the enemy. They're a side effect. A part of the dark place's less significant fauna that has managed to slip through the opening I made when I arrived. Less an animal than an idea that has assumed the form of an animal. Makes them no less dangerous, but at least they're a little easier to deal with. The darkness doesn't protect them like the Taken, and thus they can be destroyed by either light or bullets right away.
Okay, good to know. And now we have some idea how to deal with them when they show up.
Hello? I'm Dr. Rachel Meadows, and... Wait a moment, it's you! I can't believe you dare show your face around here again.
What? I've never even been here before! Oh man.
Go away.
It wasn't me. I just look like him.
Are you serious? That's what you're going with? Please!
I'm trying to stop him. You saw those shadow things trying to kill me, right? I bet he got along with them just fine.
Yes. Yes, he did. All right.
I'm totally different.
Thank you.
Well. Non-working restrooms. This is no video game.
Hey, buddy. I figured I'd take a moment to talk to you. There's a party next door. I'm feeling pretty good right now. A little beer, a little fun, you know?
There you go, that's how wrestlers watch TV. There you go, the wrestling angle.
Listen, this whole thing between us, it's a little weird for me too, you know? I mean, we don't just look the same, there's a lot we share. I mean, up here. I know you, right? So I was thinking maybe we could...
Buddy up. Be partners.
spinning out of control. Look, I feel like we're both victims of circumstance here. And maybe we could make some kind of effort to...
Oh, Mr. Scratch is gonna have to deal with this. This video's a little overly long. We're just gonna go strangle people with a phone cord? Or beat them up?
Never mind.
How long is it gonna go on? Oh yeah, okay. We love Mr. Scratch. Sick bastard. Flashbang's a little something new to the repertoire.
Lift down to. I didn't expect to see anyone here tonight, but I'm relieved to see an actual person. That's assuming this isn't some kind of cruel trick on your part, of course.
Okay.
Doctor, the man who looked like me, what did he want here?
There's a strange astronomical event happening right now. Something I can't begin to classify, but I think it's disabled our satellite. There's a very peculiar signal that we're receiving.
A signal. That's what I'm here for.
Well, so was he.
The signal.
But he didn't seem to understand it at all. He got very angry, sabotaged our imaging array, and now we're blind. I believe the event is still going on, but we can't pick it up.
Is there something we can do?
What he broke is essentially just a special camera, but we can't use the telescope without it. There's a replacement in my car. If you can get that to me, we're back in business.
Consider it done. Tell me more about the signal.
It's almost as if something's being transmitted to Night Springs. It's the strangest thing. It's quite elusive, almost as if it wasn't properly there. I don't know how to describe it.
So, what was the signal like?
I wish I knew. He appeared before I had a good fix on it. He was very pleasant when I was working, but when I isolated the signal, he suddenly forced me out of the control booth. He said it was none of my business. He seemed to change. Somehow he was very smooth and charming before that, but suddenly he became, I'm sorry. I'm not sure I want to talk about it.
Oh.
I have to ask, do you always wear that to work?
I was at a party for a local art exhibition. Fascinating.
Where's that at?
When I was called away by my assistant. Michael was the first to spot this event. I don't know where he is now, actually. He was supposed to bring us some food, but he never showed up.
Tell me about the event.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite fascinating.
About that Michael.
It looks as if stars were changing, somehow. Or shifting positions. It isn't really happening, of course. Most likely it's caused by some kind of atmospheric refraction phenomenon, but I've never seen anything like it.
Mm-hmm.
Did he hurt you?
Sorry, everyone.
He didn't
I
quite
am.
threaten
It is very, very late, and I'm getting very sleepy.
Shadowy things started to crawl into
try to get
view.
through this.
Whatever the signal was, he seemed to be extremely frustrated by it. He just started breaking things and left. I thought it best not to interfere.
You were lucky. He's done much worse.
Yes. He showed me a knife, and he kept talking. He enjoyed the sound of his own voice. A proper maniac. You really aren't anything like him, are you?
Believe me, I try very hard not to be.
Okay. Alright, cool. Let's get out of here. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for joining me on this infamous session. I am the infamous fool. My name is Joe. I'm the co-host of the Geek Out Pod podcast. A podcast that you can find on iTunes, Stitcher, and Podomatic, our home. There's a door out of this place.
And try to be careful. It's a very expensive part, and we don't have a replacement. Oh dear, that sounded more callous than I intended.
Okay. Now we're out and about. So make sure to find our podcast, all of our episodes of that up, and make sure to find all of our other YouTube channel videos. You can find us on Geek Out Pod on YouTube, and we have several different playlists out there. I've got this Alan Wake American Nightmare. I've got the first Alan Wake with all of the DLC. We've got Dishonored, and we're currently playing Dishonored 2. So please join us for all of those video series. That's a lot of fun stuff. Often my co-host Sean will be on several of them as well. You can also contact me. I'm on Twitter at GeekOutPod. Shoot over your theories as to how the Twin Peaks The Return have taken inspiration from Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Let me know what you think. And thank you so much for joining me this time. This is an infamous session of Alan Wake American Nightmare. Very cool, very special. Thank you. And we will see you next time. Bye.